Hey guys, it's me, Tyler again. I just wanted to kind of go over the stuff that I got for my aquariums with you and let you know what I'm using, at least for now, and then maybe in the future we may have videos that critique or praise these products and stuff, but I just wanted to show you guys what I got. I literally saved the packaging for this past couple weeks of a lot of the stuff so that I could make this video, so I can clear out some junk now. But first off, I want to get this out of my way. I've actually been using this as a lid. I lay it across my guppy tank and my fry tank right now. But this is a Aqueon 20 long glass aquarium. I like the long just cuz, and the one that I found on the side of the road is actually also an Aqueon, and it's a 10-gallon. Probably, other than Tetra stuff, that's probably the only brand I've ever owned of aquariums is Aqueon, and I got those at Pet Supplies Plus. They do incredible sales sometimes on their supplies. I paid $26 for this 20 long aquarium, so that's not bad at all. I use Tetra Whisper Air Pump. This is for a 20-gallon. Both my 10 and my 20-gallon are hooked up with this. The 10-gallon I use as my fry tank, and I have some bottom dwellers in there right now doing some cleanup work. So I like to put a lot of oxygen into my water as much as I can. And the way I put my oxygen into the water is, no, I do not have my filter and my pump set up. I have the Aquatop Classic Aquaflow filters. These are good for up to 60 gallons. Why do I have these in my 10 and 20 gallon? Because I will never replace these in my life, and they will be putting incredible bacteria in here. I say ever in my life, but more than likely not. And honestly, this isn't sponsored or anything, but I have to thank Keeping Fish Simple for teaching me about these sponge filters, and he was absolutely right. They're amazing so far. I have zero complaints about them. I didn't think they were going to work at first, but after watching his videos and seeing them in action, and I would absolutely recommend go follow Keeping Fish Simple, because most of what I've learned from him and Aquarium Co-op. But these filters will hold bacteria, and you don't have to replace them like you would a lot of the pads or cartridge types. You take your dirty tank water and you just rinse them out in your dirty tank water, squeeze them out. Might smell a little bit, but they'll go. And as you can see, my water's pretty nice, dude, and I'm not that heavily planted. And these are just 2 tanks. That's all I got set up right now, but it's a start, you know, towards wishes and dreams type thing. But let's see, what else do we got here? The sponge filters, by the way, you literally just hook your air pump up to them, or you can hook an air stone up inside of them. These particular ones, the Aquatops, they have these spokes inside of them. I cut the spokes out of the bottom piece so that I could run my air filter, my air stone, because it didn't actually change anything. But I'm going to be 100% honest. The air stones that I used, okay? I got these at Pet Supplies Plus as well. These are actually Pet Supplies Plus brand air stones with Nozzle. And here's the tank. This one doesn't have an air stone. This one does have an air stone. And I'm going to be honest, there's not a whole lot of difference between the two of them for me. I don't mind the noise. It helps me relax. It's very therapeutic to me. It's been helping me go to sleep. I haven't had to be keeping TVs and radios and stuff on. I've just been drifting off to sleep listening to my fish. But yeah, I've got the 20-gallon. Mine are set for 20-gallon, and my filters are set for up to 60 gallons. But they're working very efficiently, and I had always determined I was going to put that extra oxygen in my tank with the bigger air pump anyway for my fry, because there's a lot of fry that go into those and blah blah blah. Something else. So I thought my fish were dying because of me at first. I had a lot that died that came from a particular group from a particular store that I'm not going to mention the store. No, it was not Pet Supplies Plus. But I got a little concerned about some white growth that I saw in the tanks. And I don't know, I thought maybe I was killing the fish. And I have been treating it with this. This is Tetra Lifeguard all-in-one treatment. Attacks a broad range of disease-causing organisms, bacterial, fungal, viral, and parasitic. They're slow-release tablets. And I can't really say if those are working yet or not. It was a just-in-case measurement, but I'm pretty sure the fish that were dying had nothing to do with me. They were in the pet store for less than 12 hours when I bought them, coming from God knows where. And if my fry are healthy and they're growing, they're doing good. So I'm assuming if the fry are surviving and all my water parameters are good, then I don't really think there's anything personally that I did to cause that. Like we talked about in the last video, the margins for errors, stuff's gonna happen. But and we will do a future review on this. We'll see if there's any effect on this. And also, I isolated this guy because he was being very violent. He would not stop. It was very persistent for like several hours. I just sat there and watched. He just kept being violent. So he could be the culprit of some stuff too. Margin for error stuff, I spent $9 on this, and it was for large fish. And it's part of what caused my water to get cloudy and stuff there for a minute. 2 videos in a row I get hiccups. But I got this instead. This was $3.98 at my pet store. It's the Fluval bug bites, insect larva, and salmon recipe fish food made in Canada, high protein diet. And my fish have been loving it. Like I've just been putting a little pinch in there, and they pretty much have it gobbled up before it even sinks, and they've been eating it off the bottom too. It hasn't caused any weird growth or anything of that nature, like milky water or anything. I haven't had that problem, so that's doing good. My tap water conditioner, I used API, dechlorinates aquarium water, removes chlorine and chloramines, detoxifies heavy metals, super strength, high concentration formula. Seems to work fine. I like it because it's more than one dose. It covers a good bit of water. I've done 2 20 gallons and a 10 gallon with it so far, and I've barely touched any of it. I also went with the API pH kit, which came with the pH up and down, the test tube, and the pH test solution. We'll do a video on how we use some of these products too. And yeah, only product I have a complaint about, I got these check valves, right? Also Pet Supplies Plus. First time I've been disappointed personally from there. And the air wasn't going through them properly. It was acting like nothing was getting through, and I did install it correctly. Checked and double checked. There's only 2 ways it can turn, and it's even marked, and it would I just couldn't get air to pass through the other one. So yeah. Also, I did buy some Bacopa Plants. There's 3 floating in there, and 2 or 3 floating in here, and a bunch that I planted. So far, so good. Seems to be a really hardy plant. It is so far dealt with temperatures from 60 degrees all the way up to 80 degrees, and yeah, it was pretty good. As far as price gauging, I spent about $15 on each of my air pumps. I spent $5.98 on a roll of the tubing, which I forget how many feet it is, but as you can see, it's a good bit of tubing. The Aquatop classic air filter, classic Aquatop classic Aquaflow filters. I only spent $15 on each one of those in my market. That's a term you're gonna hear me use a lot, is in my market. So I'm probably just gonna be like IMM because it may vary depending on where you are, what country you're in, and even what state you're in. You know, could depend on things. But yeah, that pretty much covers it. I also bought a thermometer. And I'm not saying to do this, but this is actually a Med Reptile Thermometer. And I just stuck it in there just deep enough that the temperature gauge thing, the thermometer itself was in there, but not the actual... Whoops. Sorry I dropped you. I hope you're okay. Anyway, the thermometer's in there, but not the actual wire. So the Bacopa, I bought 2 bundles of those, got about 20 of them. Those were $3.98 a piece in my market. And I spent $8 on 1 clump of grass that has part of it floating in here, 2 globs planted down there, and some up there. I got a few snails cruising around. Those were free. I don't even care what species they are. If there's too many, I'll get rid of what's too many, but I believe snails are beneficial no matter what species, and if you don't have to spend money on them, that's great as long as you're not overwhelmed by them. And I've got like 2 snails in each tank right now. So, yeah, the guppies themselves, mine were being sold as assorted, and I spent about $5 to $6 a piece on my females, depending on where I got them, and $2 to $3 on... Oh, I'm sorry, $5 to $6 on the males, depending on where I got them, and $2 to $3 on the females, depending on where I got them. The tablets that I was using for the antifungal, bacterial, blah, 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 those were $11, and 1 tank was free. The net was $2, my little fish scoop net, and the food was $3.98. So yeah, spent about $312 on everything by now, and seem to be working efficiently at this point. And so far, my return has not been in profit, but enjoy, because I have produced about 40 fry in here. So that's exciting. But yep, there you go. Another video in the bag, and I think that covers all the products that we got. Oh no, there is one more before we go, and these, in my opinion, are essential unless you want to go all natural. He is technically in a fry box right now, okay? So, they're like this, and, well, I can't get it right now, but you would set that in there. There's a little slit in there, and the babies would fall through that, and the mother would not be able to access them to eat them, and the other fish will not be able to access them to eat them. So I definitely recommend those, and those are going to run you about $6 to $10 a piece, depending on what you get. And they do have more expensive versions and nets and so on and so forth, but we're just talking about what I got. And I also spent about $20 on a 24-pound bag of gravel. In a 20 long, I think it needed more. I like to have about an inch solid all the way around. But yeah, there you go. That's everything I use.